What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Baron Corbin blasts Braun Strowman, John Morrison talks about CM Punk's temper, the real reason Aliyah is not on TV, Undertaker appearing at Survivor Series, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out Wrestlelamia.co.uk and our non-wrestling channel, Incredible. And now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Now first we'll look at more Survivor Series rumours. Atop of today's news are the latest rumours concerning Survivor Series WarGames. The WWE Universe continues to speculate who the fifth woman in the women's WarGames match will be, and according to PW Insider, Becky Lynch is not only expected to be at the show, but that she'll be the fifth member. On a related note, PW Insider pointed out that they haven't had any reports about Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks or Naomi appearing at the show. If accurate, this would obviously keep them out of the WarGames match. Next up, is Seth Rollins a babyface or a heel? As Seth Rollins has clearly won the universe over with his wrestling, his outlandish outfits and his equally outlandish promos. However, is the Visionary a babyface or a heel? While Seth has been acting more like a babyface over the last few weeks, wrestling analyst Bryan Alvarez remarked on the Wrestling Observer Live about how Rollins talked like a heel on the 21st November Raw. I was watching the show last night and Seth Rollins did an interview. Seth Rollins came out and he's acting like an idiot again, and he's doing that stupid laugh. And then he's doing this promo. He starts talking about how he's giddy that he put Cody Rhodes, who is a babyface, on the shelf. This guy was a babyface for like 2 weeks, total babyface. Last week he worked as a babyface, putting over the fans, kissing up to the fans. A total babyface last week, then this week he's a heel again. Is the WWE going through some erratic booking, or is this something else? Alvarez claims that Bobby Lashley, who's been wrestling as a heel ever since his Crown Jewel match against Brock Lesnar, acted like a face on Raw. We believe that Rollins is still transitioning from a heel to a babyface and that the transformation is far from complete. As for Lashley, he only seemed like a babyface because he called out the much hated Austin Theory and fans chose to boo Theory over Lashley. As for Seth, Alvarez states that Rollins is still a babyface. Officially, things could have changed, but as of yesterday, he was still supposed to be a babyface. Where things could get tricky is when Cody Rhodes returns and he confronts Seth Rollins. If Rollins is a babyface by then, how will they set things up so Cody doesn't look weak by giving Monday Night Rollins a pass for injuring him? On the other hand, if the American Nightmare does seek revenge on Rollins, will the fans support Rollins or Rhodes? Next up, Baron Corbin blasts Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman's post-Crown Jewel social media mess was where he criticized flip-flop wrestlers is still a sore spot for fans and wrestlers, something seen by recent remarks from Strowman's fellow wrestler Baron Corbin. Corbin spoke with Corey Graves on the After the Bell podcast, explaining that there was always room for smaller wrestlers in the industry and that Strowman's remarks, not to mention his defense of them, were weak. There's a place for those guys, like we all talked about. It may not be the main event, but there is a place for them, so if you're going to go out on social media and say those things, and the minute people start firing back at you, you back down or you cover away or you try to say it was a joke, that's when I get irritated. Stand behind what you say, be a man and back it up, and also for me, I'm going out there for 10 years now. I've irritated people and not cared about how they felt. Strowman's "I was only kidding" defense doesn't seem to get over with Corbin or wrestling fans who ask why the Monster Among Monsters made those remarks. Next up, Montez Ford injury update. There's good news for Street Profits fans as Cageside Seats is reporting on NBC's Today Show. Montez Ford said he should be back pretty soon from the calf injury that kept him sidelined since September. The Street Profits are one of the WWE's best tag teams, but they may not be around much longer as there have been many rumors about the WWE wanting to push Montez as a solo star. Next up, John Morrison talks about CM Punk's temper. Now, does CM Punk have a temper? Well, former WWE superstar John Morrison recently talked about Punk during an interview with Adi Shankar on YouTube's Bootleg Universe channel.
He's always had like a temper when things don't go his way. In his defense, what he wants is to make it, and I don't know exactly the extent of his injuries, but I think he tore something like his upper tricep or something on the dive, which is very frustrating. So he's frustrated because he's got this big opportunity to carry a company. He's got this huge paycheck, and he tears his tricep and his foot.
Morrison, who worked closely with Punk in the WWE's version of ECW, shared his thoughts on why Punk was so upset.
He's one of the people that changed the course of the industry, and it's never cool to see anybody like that get hurt. What I think is funny is how he dealt with it, because in some ways, he just lashed out at the entire AEW roster. Whether they deserved it or not, I don't know. Like, from his point of view, they did.
Morrison also elaborated on what he dealt with when he and Punk worked a one-on-one match during the Ruthless Aggression era.
I've wrestled the guy, like, not recently, but probably close to 100 times. And at the beginning, we were, like, butting heads quite a bit. And maybe it took, like, 20 matches. And then after that, from then on, I thought, like, our chemistry was on point. And he became one of my favorite opponents.
Like any workplace, wrestling has its many different personalities, but when one wrestler makes a locker room turn toxic, what is a wrestling company supposed to do? One would think by this stage in his career, Punk would know how to act professionally. What do you guys think of Morrison's comments? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, where's Aliyah? Now, the former WWE Women's Tag Team Champion hasn't been seen on TV for some time, leading to rumors she might be injured. However, Ringside News is reporting that that's not the case and that a recent video of Aliyah horseback riding puts that theory to rest. Jenkins explained, "We were told by a tenured member of the creative team that Aliyah is off television because she's not figured into Survivor Series. It was explained to us that since she isn't in any storylines, they're keeping her off TV since they don't want to feed her to someone for someone to get over on her." Now, if this report is accurate, it's hopefully a sign that the WWE cares about Aliyah's character and sees her more than another face in the crowd. As we've discussed before, the WWE's women's roster has become crowded and it's easy for an undercard star to get lost amongst their colleagues. Do you think Aliyah will be pushed in the near future? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, The Undertaker appearing at Survivor Series WarGames. Now, while there's been no word of Taker appearing on camera, PW Insider reports that it's heard that Michelle McCool is slated to be there this weekend and that she and Taker are expected to be backstage at the pay-per-view as well. But they're not the only legends expected at the show, as PW Insider's Mike Johnson reports that Maurice will be present at the Boston show. Johnson speculated, "No word yet whether she'll be appearing on camera at the event. It's always possible she'll be filming for future episodes of Ms. and Mrs. But fans shouldn't read too much into these appearances, as retired wrestlers show up all the time to see old friends and check out the current product." Next up, a former main roster superstar debuts on NXT with a new identity. The 22nd November edition of NXT featured some big returns and debuts, including the debut of the not-so-mysterious Scripps, a man who's been stalking the WWE Performance Center with some mystery messages. Wrestling News pointed out that it was revealed that the man behind the Scripps character is former WWE star Reggie. Scripps defeated Guru Raj, showcasing the acrobatic style that made him fun to watch during his time on the main roster. Now working as a heel, it'll be interesting to see whether the WWE acknowledges his past persona, as his Scripps mask isn't hiding anything. Next up, a main roster performance star returns to NXT. On this week's edition of NXT, former NXT superstar Dominik Dijakovic, who worked on the main roster as T-Bar, made an example out of NXT North American champion Wes Lee after Lee successfully defended his title against Carmelo Hayes. The former T-Bar is now working as Dijak, and he clearly has the goods to get over with the right push. And finally, a superstar's name change. Last but not least, did you guys like Mia Yim's name change to Michin, reportedly Korean for crazy? If so, we're sad to report the WWE's already changed it back to Mia Yim. There's no word on why they changed Mia Yim in the first place, but let's hope there's a reason and Triple H hasn't been possessed by the spirit of Vince McMahon. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.